Welcome to the journey as we continue to explore various spiritual disciplines that help us in our relationship with God. It is really that focus of growing our spirituality. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing in each of these short videos. And it's my hope that it encourages you to continue to explore your own personal spirituality with God. How is your relationship with God? I don't know if this ever happens to you, but it happens to me all the time. I will hop in the car, turn the key, start the engine, put that seatbelt on, and the next thing is to reach for that power button to turn on some noise. Whether it's the radio, connect my phone and listen to it's to have sound, to have noise in there with me, in that car. I want to have something making noise. In our society today, silence is a deafening noise. I know that sounds impossible, but it is. We struggle to function with silence. And yet it's in that silence, in that solitude, the discipline we're looking at is kind of a combination of two. It's in this silence and solitude where some of God's greatest messages can be heard. You know, Elijah fled for 40 days into the wilderness to hide from Jezebel. And when God showed up, yes, there was a lot of noise. He caused a lot of things to happen. But when it came time to have that conversation, to really go to that next level in a relationship with Elijah, it was God's still, quiet, calm voice that spoke to him. God loves sound. God created sound. God created some really loud things. But God doesn't seek to have a conversation that He has to yell at us and we yell back just so we can hear each other. God desires that space where we are in solitude, in silence, in the quiet, where He can speak to us, we can hear Him, and we can share back. We can have a beautiful conversation. So if you haven't spent any time in silence or in solitude by yourself, I invite you to explore what that's like. Even just taking 5 minutes and turning all the noise and distractions off and just sitting in quiet is a powerful experience. We talked about it a little bit with meditation, and I encourage you to explore this in greater magnitude. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. What if you had an hour of silence with God, where you simply just asked some simple questions and listened? Sure, it might seem pretty quiet. You might discover there's a whole lot of other noises going on, both in the nature or world around you, but also just right in your own head. You've got a lot of voices speaking to you. No, that doesn't mean you've got some mental psychotic breakdown going on. It's just the way our lives are. We fill them full of so many distractions that it's hard to focus. It's hard to be silent. So I invite you to practice some silence in your life. Practice some solitude. Not where you avoid the crowds, but that you are able to hear God's voice so that you can better live within the crowds of this world, in the crowds of our community, even in a church setting. We need our solitude, our silence, so we can hear God, so we can be a better witness for God. Not that we have done it, but that God is able to actually have a conversation with us. I know when I talk to a lot of people, that is something they feel like they rarely hear from God. And I know, at least for my life, a lot of the reason why I don't hear from God isn't that God isn't talking. It's that I have so much noise in my life that I can't hear Him speaking. So seek to hear God's voice. Find those quiet spaces, and let's continue on this journey.